used to. Offensively, that's been what's carried Dable for years now, and to have the defense being as a counterpart now for it is pretty successful for them. And I know Coach White was happy with the performance that the defense did, but again, Cal Jones, the quarterback, has a great game, 128 yards rushing on 20 carries, and he had a 53-yard touchdown that really propelled them to victory. But again, offensively, I think they still need to be able to score some points. But when you're able to hold a back of this caliber, they won't face anybody else like this going forward. So they know going forward, if they have an athlete of his caliber, they'll be able to stop him.
Second segment of the program tonight, we're going to talk a lot about Benjamin Russell. As they moved to 5-1 on the season, take down Stanhope 28-7. It was a great game. I'll close out this segment and pass along some information. His father works down there with me, and I hate to say this, but I'll bring it up. Sean Rape does have a torn ACL, having surgery on that next week. His spirits are up. Only a junior, great athlete, not only on the football field but on the baseball field. You hate to see that happen to him, but I think that he'll be back. They give him a 6 to 8 month, could be, depending on how the surgery takes, how it works out. But we had hoped for the best and we got the worst. But the good thing is that the spirits are high and he's got plenty of time left here at the school.
Yeah, and the one positive is there's never a positive in it, but it was a clean tear, so he will have an opportunity. It won't be that bad of a, I guess, recovery process, but hopefully things continue to go well for him, and we'll look forward to seeing him continue his Benjamin Russell career.
Yeah, we'll look forward to a busy program tonight. We got a good friend of the program, Kendall Graveman, will be up here with us. That will be at 6:15. Also have him on Sports Blitz Live from 7 to 9 tonight, so you make sure to stay tuned in there. So proud of what he's been able to do to move on in one quick season, jump up so many different classifications in A-ball, and to move all the way up until the big team where he was on that 40-man roster for the Blue Jays. An outstanding season. We'll catch up with him tonight. Scott, you got a couple other great guests in line too.
Yes, we'll have Chad McKelvey on to discuss Dable and the big win that they had against Tallis, and we'll also have Jason Johnson, offensive coordinator for Horseshoe Bend, as they get a big win also this Friday against Collinsville.
Yeah, Jason Johnson did a great job. Drew Hill had 3 touchdowns running, almost 200 yards running the football this past Friday night. So a great win. Great wins all throughout the county, unless you're a Tallahassee fan, but nothing to hold your head down about there as you lose to a great Dable team, 14-11. Let's take our first break here on the Sports Blitz Lake Martin Sports Roundup. Love for you to come out, have a great dinner here at JR Sports Bar and Grill.
All right, you're off.
That was good timing, Scotty.
10 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Take it away.
Welcome back into the Sports Blitz Lake Martin Sports Roundup. Randy Lee alongside Scott Hardy this evening. 800-782-0108, 256-234-6221. We talked a good bit about the Davil and Tallahassee game. Let's talk a little bit more about the Benjamin Russell game from this past Friday night. And to Scott, it was a great win. Anytime you can take down Stanhope, you always know that they're talented. You always know that they get after you physically, like we do. Much the same type of towns there, and Stanhope Elmore couldn't do anything offensively, and I think that's been the story of this team so far. They score 7 points. Those 7 points can be a little bit of an anomaly there as they get a fake punt that they take 40 yards inside the 1 yard line. We push them back about 5 to 8 yards, and they hit a quick slant pattern and score that touchdown. Outside of that, they did very little on offense.
Yeah, this was another great game defensively for Benjamin Russell. They hold Stanhope to 7 first downs. You were hoping they'd come out and have a great performance on both sides of the ball, and one of the main reasons for the success that they had, I'll go straight to it, Pat Brown Norris, 7 carries, 71 yards, 2 touchdowns, so a big game for him. But the person that I thought that this is the type of game I've been waiting for, he's had some pretty good games defensively, but Tyree Gray came out and had a tremendous game, 2 interceptions, but also played great from the quarterback spot. So I thought, although there's only 28 points as a whole, this was one of the better games Benjamin Russell has played the entire season.
I definitely thought so, and I thought Tyree threw the football around well. I thought he pointed out a couple of different receivers before Sean went out there in the second half. He had 2 catches, also had a 2-point conversion, kicking extra points that night. And Cy Stows has been outstanding getting behind the defense and making some big plays in the passing game. Q Johnson only had 1 reception, but it was for 24 yards, and you just can't find a way to get the ball in his hands enough. And moving forward, I really like the direction of this team. I think the offensive line has really gelled. They're playing well. They lost some key parts to the team this past year with a great senior class. So you knew it was going to take a little while, but it sets up a huge matchup this Friday night. They'll take on Oxford. Oxford defeated Vestavia Hills this past Friday night, 35-14. Oxford has been up and down so far this season, as I think Opelika put 49 on them 2 weeks ago, and then they get the win last week. We know they're talented. It'll be a good team coming into the Sportsplex, and we'll need a lot of fans out this Friday night.
Yeah, and you touched on it and made a good point. The reason Benjamin Russell has – you've seen the progression they have is because they were a young team and they were replacing a lot of guys. But in a guy in Tyree, his first year starting, you knew there'd be a little transition there, but he's fought through it. And I think now that as region play really starts in, because that's what you'll see from here on out as area play, you're going to want somebody who has that type of experience in it. And I think Oxford will be a good test. This is pretty much, I think, to fight for who will get the number 2 spot. Those are probably the best 2 teams outside of Opelika in the region. So I look for that to be a primetime matchup. But if Benjamin Russell can continue to play defensively the way that they have, I think they'll come away successful.
You know,
Friday.
a big shocker the second week of the season, Valley takes down Oxford 25-21, I think 3 touchdowns scored there in the 4th period of play. It's when they went to a single back formation, put their best running back there, and just had everybody out front blocking. Does that bode well for Benjamin Russell? Hopefully so, because I do think we're physical. We got a physical mind. We've got good running backs back there in the backfield. We got a quarterback that can run the football if you put him in that single back formation also. So that should be something that you'll look for this Friday night as Oxford comes in. And I think Scott's exactly right. The 4 teams I think that will make the playoffs out of the region are Opelika, clearly, Benjamin Russell, Oxford, and Chelsea. One team that you can throw in there as a wild card is Valley, as Valley does have that win over Oxford. So we'll see how everything plays out. It's 5 good teams out of 8 in the region. Somebody's got to be left out. Let's hope it's not us. A lot will be said this Friday night. Going to go ahead and take another break here on the Sports Blitz Lake Martin Sports Roundup. And when we come back, Scott will welcome Kendall Graveman up here with us. Kendall will talk a lot about his ascent up the ranks into Major League Baseball this single year, and it was an outstanding season for him, and we're very, very proud of him. More of the Sports Blitz Lake Martin Sports Roundup right after this.
And you're off.
Your host, Scott Hardy, and we're joined now by our first professional athlete on the show, Kendall Graveman, Alex City native. Kendall, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and I was joking with Kendall off there. It's my first chance to interview a professional athlete. But again, Kendall, you at the end of the last season, you're in single A or in low A, and you immediately within the season go 4 levels up through. And I just want to add, because that's unprecedented what you did. And so what were your thoughts as each level as you progressed?
Right. The first promotion I had was, of course, from Michigan down to the Florida State League in Dunedin. And I went out there and I tried to be somebody I wasn't. I was a little nervous, and I told myself then that whatever I can do, I'm going to pitch the way I do and not get nervous. And it really kind of took off right then at that moment. Just said, hey, this is the pitcher I am. I'm going to compete. I'm going to get out there and throw sinkers and try to get people out. And it just it took off from that point.
When Sue, I know as the season progressed, you developed a cutter. And I think at that point, that was really when the transition started. And I thought that you had an opportunity to go because your fastball had gotten a little bit faster. And so you were getting so many ground ball outs. Can you tell the story a little bit about the cutter?
Yeah, it was neat, man. And I was sitting there and we were pitching in a game, and my catcher, Derek Chung, we were trying to figure out a way to throw a fastball into a lefty, and kind of my 2-seam was running back over to the plate a little bit. So he said, hey, just throw a 4-seam grip for me and see how it works. And went out there. It was the 4th inning, and we were on the road, and we had our pitching coach was gone, so we had a new guy in, and I started throwing some 4-seams, and I actually threw one that cut so much that he missed it. And he came back in the dugout, and he said, hey, we're going to start calling it a cutter, and from here on out, you're going to throw that. And from that point on, that built a lot of confidence in my game. It was something that, for me, I could really challenge left-handed hitters and also get down on the way to righties. And my game just took off after that, being able to throw that with a sinker, and it complemented it so well.
Yeah, and we're here with Kendall Graveman, pitcher for the Toronto Blue Jays. And Kendall, as we said, you're somebody who induces a lot of ground ball outs. And so playing in the AL East, how do you think that could help you? Because, that's more than likely always going to be the most powerful lineups in baseball. So how do you think that'll help you in your transition and going through your career there?
For years, it's been, 1 through 9 in the AL East. And my first 4 batters that I faced were all all-stars at one point. And, it's that way in the whole league. And especially pitching in Toronto on the turf and the ball flies well there. For me to be able to sink the ball is going to be really big. And they had a guy, Roy Halladay, not comparing myself to him, but he cut the ball. And he was real successful in that place. And so for me in the AL East, trying to keep the ball down, trying to keep the ball out of the air, especially when we're in Toronto at home, is going to be big.
Yeah, and I know you spent most of your career as a starter, but you do have some experience early in your career at Mississippi State. You did come out of the bullpen some. So has the management given you any indication of what they'd like to do with you?
The indication is, it's going to depend on off-season moves, what they plan on doing with me. But my goal is whatever way I can help that team win and get back in the playoffs. We haven't been since '93, and I expect that to change. So whichever way I can help, I think that's the biggest thing right now. So being able to, if I'm in the pen, the velocity increase has helped coming out of the pen. And if I'm in the pen, then I'm probably going to try to find something that I can punch people out when I get ahead, get more strikeouts. So I can really work on that this offseason.
When you got the first opportunity, as you said, your first 4 batters were perennial power hitters, and the first one being Cespedes. What were your thoughts as you were heading out to the mound then?
And yeah, honestly, man, I didn't look at who I was facing. I didn't want to know. It kind of happened so quick. They said, hey, we score a couple runs here, you're in. So I got a couple warm-up pitches and running out to Fenway, and they were singing Sweet Caroline in the 8th inning, and we were up, and I walk to the mound, I throw my warm-up pitches, and Cespedes steps in the box, and I said, here we go. I just prayed the first one didn't hit the backstop, and after I got the first pitch out of the way, I felt good.
And, being from Toronto now, I guess, what's the biggest difference, I guess, there being from Alabama now going to Canada?
Right. I love the city. The people were great. It's a clean city, but it's a big city. It's the 4th largest in North America. So there's 3 larger ones in New York and Los Angeles being 2 of those. But, I really enjoyed it. There's a lot of different ethnic groups, and that's pretty neat to see. And neat to see the fans that come out. This the biggest thing is, hey, there's one team in Canada. There's many more in America. So every coverage, every night throughout the whole, it's talking about the Blue Jays when we're in season. And a lot of people see your face and know your name.
Yeah, we have a couple more questions with you. But I guess you've been in there for a little over a month now, and what is the biggest, I guess, surprise that you saw, if there's something you didn't expect that actually came to fruition?
The biggest surprise is just see the guys that like the Jose Reyes, the Jose Bautista, the Encarnaciones of the world, the people that are big name, big stars, how hard they work. And, you go out and you see them perform every night. They're hitting close to 300. I mean, it doesn't happen. The R.A. Dickies of the world, they just don't happen. You see them between starts or in between games, how they get themselves ready, even at their age and how long they've been playing the game is pretty neat to see. And it's good as a young person coming up, 23 years old, looking at guys that are 30, 35 years old, still getting after it. That's been the biggest thing to me.
And, we're talking about the AL East, and it'll be missing one of the better players of our generation, probably of all time, the captain, Derek Jeter. I think you had an encounter with him. If you'd like to share how that story went.
I always come out early for batting practice. And when we're on the road, the home team hits first. So I came out early and they were taking batting practice. Neat story. And another thing, I look up to him so much is we had a 7:00 game. It was an early game the next day, quick turnaround. He didn't have to be there. He could have showed up at 3 and played in the game at 4. But he was there at 11:30 taking ground balls, hitting batting practice, running bases, and they were essentially out of the playoffs at that point. And just to see him do that at his age and how much he meant to baseball, I went up to introduce myself. I said, "Hey, I want to introduce myself, and I want to thank you for what you've done for the game." And he said, "Congratulations on the call-up, and I hope you have a long, illustrious career, but never play this game unless you're having fun. Always have fun playing." And just that moment, and I sent a jersey over to get it signed, and just for that to go on, it meant a lot to me. I know he didn't have to take his time out to say anything to me, but he did.
That's a great story. Well, the off season's coming up. What's next for you in the process getting ready for next season?
Right. Rest for about 2 weeks and then get back in the weight room, keep my body in shape. And I won't pick up a ball till around Christmas. And hopefully we'll be going down to spring training in the middle of February for big league camp and see where it goes from there.
Absolutely. Well, that was Kendall Graveman, pitcher for the Toronto Blue Jays. And we want to say how proud we are of you and congratulations on the tremendous year that you've had. And we look forward to seeing how the rest of your career pans out. We'll go ahead and take another break. More of the Late Morning Sports Roundup, live from location at JR Sports Bar and Grill right after this.
All right, you're off. 1. Take it away.
Welcome back into the Sports Blitz Lake Martin Sports Roundup. Randy Lee alongside Scott Hardy this evening. 800-782-0108, 256-234-6221. Love to hear from you up here. And we're going to have one more segment. One thing that we haven't quite talked about, we got our good buddy Sean Bland down here with us, and hopefully he'll come up here and be a part of the program. The last segment, we've got our Alexander City Sports Foundation raffle. I want to thank Jeff Kirk and his family for the pair of tickets to the Auburn and LSU game. All the funds that were generated through this raffle will go to the Alexander City Sports Foundation, and a lot of good things have been done in the last 3 years through that Sports Foundation's work, and we appreciate all of you that have given to that worthy cause just this year. Just to give you a quick update of what we've done currently, I know in the last 3 or 4 seasons, I'd have to have Sonny Wilson up here with me to confirm that, we've been able to buy upwards between 30 and 50 football helmets each year for the youth football program. And Brett talked with Sonny before the season this year, and he just went on and on how well the kids are padded and what they're able to wear, and whenever they go around our kids have the best equipment possible. And if you watch so many disappointing, whether it be injuries or concussions and things that can happen with you in football, you need to have the best equipment for sure to ensure yourself that those things won't happen to your kids. And we're proud that we've been able to do that and many other things, Scott.
Look good, play good. And that's something that Coach Martin always used to say. But you're right, though. Sonny Wilson, as well as everyone else involved with the Sports Foundation and others who have given on their behalf, always make sure that Alex City is represented in the best of whatever it is, whether it be transportation or on the field with the designs or the equipment necessary to play. They're just excellent.
The fields were outstanding this past Friday night. I've had so many people to say something about how good the fields look and how our facilities look as a whole. And you're right, it's not only what you wear, but the way that you present yourself to other communities. And anyone that came over from Millbrook, or if they come over from Oxford and they're part of this community and see how much we care about our kids, we want a lot more Kendall Gravemans to come out of here. We want a lot more of our kids to have the opportunities that he's had with great coaches that he had, his dad being one of those. But you've got to supply those and to have those for your kid to have the best opportunity. And that's part of what the Sports Foundation is, but it's more of a part of what the Parks and Rec and the entire community and the coaching staff and the administration in our school, very, very all of the positive things that we have to talk about around Alexander City.
Absolutely. And then, as you said, anytime that even whether we travel or people come here, they always compliment on us, how we travel and the type of kids that we do have. We never really have a problem with any extracurricular activities and getting in trouble, anything like that. So as a whole, I think Alex City is making that transition again now to being one of those better football programs. And as a whole, sports in general, we had Coach Pam Robinson on last week, athletic director, and she was just saying how everything as a whole now, the sports at Benjamin Russell are going in the right direction. And also from a youth perspective, I hadn't seen this many people playing football in a very long time. So things are going in the right direction here.
They definitely are. If you were out at some of the high school football games this past Friday, we'd love to hear from you. 256-234-6221. Got about 15 minutes left here on this segment to hear from you out there, and make sure to tune in. We had Kendall Graveman up here, but he'll also be on from 7 to 9 with us tonight, the first segment of the program, to introduce Sports Blitz Live. That will go statewide, the Alabama Cable Network. You can tune in on Channel 3 here locally in the Lake Martin community, but it'll be on statewide, Channel 80, Alabama Cable Network. Thanks to 95.9 for tuning us in over in the Auburn-Opelika market, and always 97.5 Kowaliga Country here. We didn't talk quite as much about Horseshoe Bend, so let's move over and talk about them here. Horseshoe victory over Collinsville this past week, and they put some great stats on the board off them. For them to be able to do that and pick up a 30-12 victory, I think speaks volumes about where they're moving at, where they've been able to start from this year, and to see the skill position play. Drew Hill had 3 touchdowns as he ran for 198 yards the other night. It's a great storyline, and we're looking forward to some more big victories for the Generals.
Yeah, on defense, Horseshoe Bend, that was netted. Now they did give up some yards, but they had a bunch of sacks in the game, 225 rushing yards offensively on 46 attempts. And you mentioned Drew Hill scored on rushes of 36, 25, and 71. So definitely the big play threat that they've been asking for, and they've been needing that offensively. And we hope to catch up with Coach Jason Johnson, who is the offensive coordinator for Horseshoe Bend, and hopefully we'll get his take on that. But this was a much-needed win, and I'm glad Horseshoe Bend was able to come out and get the victory. 2-3 on the season, 0-3 at home, 0-2 on the road. So maybe they play Elmore County at Elmore County this Friday, so hopefully that trend can continue.
Love to hear from you, 256-234-6221. Make sure to call in. And, Scott, let's move over. Talk about some of our players that have moved on from Alexander City or the Lake Martin community, playing at colleges throughout the state and throughout the country. Kyle Caldwell is where you'll need to start each and every week.
Every week, 7 for 13 through the air, 72 yards, 5 carries, 74 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. The yardage maybe not there statistically, but they won 60-7, so he was there only in a limited capacity. And I'm hoping that doesn't continue as the season progresses, because he's somebody that I think, if he's given the opportunity, he'll definitely be able to get some more yardage. He's so close to being able to break some of the records. But I think from here in the back, we have Coach Jason Johnson on with us. Coach, thanks for joining the Lake Martin Sports Roundup.
Coach, you there with us? And hopefully
I'll get him back. Hold on.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be able to get Coach Jason Johnson as his Generals offensive attack really took it to Collinsville this past week. And Drew Hill with those big rushes and the big play capabilities. That's when Horseshoe Bend's at their best, when they've got somebody back there that can do it, because always defensively they seem to be able to keep themselves in the football game.
Yeah, and if you look at their scores, they had 2 tough games against Reeltown and against Lynette, but both of those are highly ranked teams, so you would expect them to struggle there. But against Waller, they only lose 22-20, so, and then they win their other 2 games. So as a whole, they've played pretty well, and defensively, as you said, this is one of the better teams they've had in a while. So I think offensively now, if they can keep it going, you'll see a more balanced attack going forward.
Coach Jason Johnson, we got you with us?
Not yet.
Still trying to get him in there. And Coach Johnson, again, as you see, 225 yards rushing on 46 attempts. That's what you want to see Horseshoe Bend trying to do. But you mentioned Kyle Caldwell. Apprentice Gunn's also having a great senior season.
6 tackles in his team's 48-31 loss to Hendricks. And Birmingham Southern has been struggling in the win category, but Apprentice Gunn has nothing to do with that. He's had a tremendous year so far. Every time you look at the that sheet is leading the team in tackles. So congratulations to him on another great week.
Cameron Blankenship, we had him on during the halftime show of the Pell City game, and I want to thank him for being a part of the program there. But Cameron, we can't talk good enough about him as well. As Bill Clark has this program on the up and up, and Cameron's starting on that offensive front as he has pretty much since he's been there.
Yeah. They move him playing a new position, but they lose to FIU this past Saturday. But he had another tremendous game. I watched some of it on a replay, and you look at him at the guard position, new position, doing a tremendous show how the rest of his season.
856-234-6221. Hopefully we got a couple more guests lined up here tonight as we had Kendall Graveman starting the program. Give us a quick update. Justin Tuck for the New York Giants still hanging in there.
Yeah, 2 tackles in Oakland's loss to Miami, 38-14, and you hate that for the Raiders.
So he's moved over to the Oak. He's with the Raiders now. That tells you how far I'm behind.
Yeah, he's with the Raiders now. The Giants, I think, due to his contract was up, or either it was toward the end, they released him, and he goes on to play for the Raiders. They actually go to London, and they play the Dolphins there. So it looks like the NFL is making an attempt to maybe get a couple of teams there. But Justin Tuck's still standing strong. He had a good game last week, getting a couple of sacks against Tom Brady.
I tell you what, Scott, let's go ahead and try to take one more timeout. While during this timeout, hopefully we can get the phone line straightened out. When we come back, we'll hopefully have a couple of guests lined up for us during this next segment. We'll close out the program tonight, so stay tuned in. About 6:50, we're going to draw a name out of the bag or the hat, whatever we put in here. But thanks to all of you that bought raffle tickets for the 2-ticket chance to the Auburn and LSU game this Saturday, and we'll pull that name out of the hat or out of the bag here in about 15, 20 minutes, so stay tuned in here. More of the Sports Blitz Lake Martin Sports Roundup right after this.
All right, he's not getting volume on his side. We're trying to figure it out.
Okay. Have you asked Justin?
All right, I got him.
You want?
Yeah, I got him. Are you coming out? All right.
3, 2, 1. Take it away.
Welcome back, and thanks for joining the Lake Martin Sports Roundup show live here on location at JR Sports Bar and Grill. And one of the last segments left in the show, but we want to welcome in offense coordinator Jason Johnson at Horseshoe Bend High School. Coach Johnson, thanks for joining the show.
I don't know why I can't hear y'all.
And I think we're still struggling a little bit to get Coach Johnson. Hopefully we can get that situated in the back. I know you guys are working for it. But, again, you know, Randy, looking at some of the upcoming games coming up, you have Ben Jeroso playing Oxford, and Dable also has the meat of their schedule coming up too, as well as Horseshoe Bend. Now this is when it matters. You're starting to get area play now, and I think now you know what teams are at this point, and that's what I wanted to get Coach Johnson's thoughts on at this point in the season, you know, transition going from the spread to the wishbone. What was his thoughts on that? But I know that Ben Jeroso in particular, we have a big game against Oxford coming up this Friday.
Yeah, we definitely do. And Oxford is a team that has such a winning tradition. They come into the Sportplex, and, you know, they play at a lot of different away stadiums and tons of fan support. Some people that come into Alexander City probably don't see that much fan support from an opposing team all season long. It won't be that way when Oxford comes in here. They'll be used to the environment. They'll be used to the crowds. And, again, I think it does go a long way. It's like us going on the road. We go on the road and we expect to win, and Oxford's going to be much the same. The difference, I think, will be up front. You'll know it pretty quick. If our offensive line, who averages about 280 a man, very strong in the center of that line of scrimmage. We'll have Daniel Bland's father, Sean, up here with us next. But Daniel and Stuart Ward, if they can control the middle part of that line of scrimmage and we can run the football on an Oxford team that has shown that they'll give up the run. And Oxford also gave up a ton of passing yards to Opelika in that defeat that they had to them. If we can move it, I feel really good. I feel really good about our chances. Let's try it one more time, see if we can get Coach Jason Johnson on the line with us. Coach Johnson, you there with us?
Yeah, I can hear you now, bud.
Glad to have you on here, and congratulations, a big victory this past Friday night.
I appreciate it very much, man.
Offensively, it seems like you got some things straightened out. You put 30 points on the board. Drew Hill was the main ball carrier there for your Generals team.
Yeah, we finally figured some things out. Figured out who to block mainly. We moved Drew back to tailback. You know, he'd been playing quarterback for us. We moved Rez Lewis back to quarterback and put Drew back at tailback. Just felt like he was a lot more comfortable there and had a good night. I think rushed for right around 200 yards.
He definitely did, and he had some big plays. And, Jason, talk about that. For Horseshoe Bend, when y'all are at your strength, it's when your offensive unit's making a big play. And you saw Drew have a 71-yard touchdown run. And I like y'all's chances if you can continue that big play capability.
Yeah, you know, we did a good job the other night of taking 4- and 5-yard runs, and then he did a real good job of breaking the big one, you know, after we kind of pounded on him a little bit. If we can keep doing that, I like our chances on down the line.
We got Coach Jason Johnson on here with us from Horseshoe Bend, and talk about the schedule. So far, you've had a couple of tough opponents on this schedule. Who do you see down the line, and how do you match up with them, Jason?
Well, you know, we got non-conference with Elmore County this week. Tough team. They're 1-4, but they've lost to Lee, Munford, St. James, and I can't remember the other one. So record's not real indicative of how they are. Got Ramford next week, big area game. They're undefeated right now. Them and Reeltown square off this week, so it'll be kind of see how that goes. They're going to be a tough team to beat. And then we've got Woodland after that, so it doesn't get any easier for us the rest of the year.
Well, Jason, you guys go on the road this Friday against Elmore County, and I want to get your thoughts on what do they do defensively, and what do you guys plan to do to combat that?
They run 3-5, so they blitz a lot. They're going to we're just, with what we do offensively, we think they're going to stack 9 in the box. So we're going to have to try to throw the football a little bit. We haven't done a real good job of that this year. I think we're going to use this non-region week as kind of a time to work on that a little bit. I think if we can ever throw it a little bit, it's only going to help us out in the run game. So that's kind of our game plan going in.
Jason, give us an idea as we close out here, the region. Who's at the top of the region? 4 teams will make it into the playoffs, and where do y'all fit into that mix? Your thoughts?
You got Reeltown and Ramford right now atop it, battling it out. You know, somebody will settle that this Friday. One of them have one loss. That'll be 1-2. Lynette's probably sitting 3 right now. and then be us, Woodland, Randolph County battling out for that 4 spot, it looks like.
Well, good luck to y'all, and we appreciate you taking some time, and we hope this offense continues to put up big numbers like it did this past Friday night. Y'all continue the winning ways.
All right, thank you, guys.
Thank you so much for being on the program with us as Horseshoe Bend picks up a big victory, 30-12 over Collinsville this past week. And, Scott, let's go ahead, take our last break here on the Sports Blitz Lake Martin Sports Roundup. When we come back, we're going to pull a ticket out of the bag here. I keep wanting to say the hat. We're going to pull a ticket out of the bag, and we'll give away the pair of tickets to the Auburn and LSU game. More of the Sports Blitz Lake Martin Sports Roundup right after this.
All right, you're off. And sorry about that.
That's
Something
okay,
was
buddy.
wrong. We figured it out there.
Yeah, it sounds good. Wonderful, got him.
What's up, man?
$10.
3, 2, 1. Take it away.
Final segment here on the Sports Blitz Lake Martin Sports Roundup. I'm Randy Lee alongside Scott Hardy. Make sure to tune in tonight, Sports Blitz Live from 7 to 9. Channel 3 here locally, Channel 80 statewide, and we're going to bring Sean up here shortly as he'll pull a name out of the hat for these tickets tonight. We're going to give away a pair of tickets to Auburn versus LSU, compliments of the Alexander City Sports Foundation. I want to thank Jeff Kirk and his family for providing the 2 tickets. All the funds will go back to the Sports Foundation. We've got a great show, by the way, lined up for you. Kendall Graveman will start it off with us on Sports Blitz Live tonight. Brett Pritchard and Luke Robinson will host that way. You got something you'd like to pass along? Russell Medical Center always coming up with outstanding ideas and ways to market things, and this 2-2 run is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I hope I'm saying it right. The
2.222 run. It'll be taking place this Thursday at 6 or 6:30. Make sure that we get that time correctly. But $10 to register, and an envelope will be sent on someone's behalf who is battling cancer or has already defeated it. So make sure you support that. I know, as you said, Russell Medical Center always doing a great job in doing community relations type events.
Community relations, and they do an outstanding job there. I want to thank them for all that they do for our great community here. And Scott, we didn't run down Dable's game this Friday night.
Yes, they'll take on Munford, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, they do take on Munford, and that is a region game. So, again, Munford, a team that has had some success this season. So, Dable hopes to continue their winning ways as they get a big victory again last Friday, holding Brandon Baines down 14-11 against Tallahassee.
We'll need a big crowd out at the Sportplex this Friday night as Oxford will be in here. We'll be on air at 6:30 this Friday night, so you can tune that in, 97.5. If you're looking for the online link, it's WKGA975.com. That's how you can pull it up out there if you're on the road or if you're living elsewhere and you've got family members that are looking for the ball game. WKGA975.com is the place to go out there and pull that up. A reminder, HSA Radio Network, JJ and Luke Robinson will be a part of that program as they are each Friday night. It goes on air at 10 from 10 to 11:30. Got around 20 radio affiliates throughout the state that pull that one in, and you can catch up on all the scores. And I don't know about you, Scott, but that's one of the places I always go on Friday night.
Oh, absolutely. Luke and JJ do a tremendous job. And as you said, always making sure that not just locally, but you'll get your statewide scores as well.
Yeah, you definitely will. And if you're looking for the list of those affiliates throughout the state, if you're around the state, you're traveling around, AHSARadioNetwork.com, a complete list of affiliates can be pulled up there as well. Got a great crowd out here at JR Sports Bar and Grill.
Week 7, Rand. I just wanted to say that it's already week 7 of high school football, and that's amazing, man. It seems like just the other day, BC Rain and Benjamin Russell were taking place, and now it's already week 7, and you're starting to see some, rankings and matchups formulate now with region play starting to wrap up. So it's going to be a tremendous end of the season.
I think the biggest storyline is 7A, and can somebody overtake Hoover? Can somebody get over the top? And 6A is such a neat bracket this year, and that's where Benjamin Russell sits right there in the middle if you're looking at overall enrollment. But it's a fun bracket. It's communities that love sports, love their football. They'll travel well. I think that's one of the key reasons that you saw the change from a 6A to move up to a 7A in the top 32 teams in the state. And there in 6A, we've got 64 teams. And I'm really looking forward to this bracket. I'm looking forward to the Super 7 state championships that will be at Jordan-Hare this year. Scott, our 6th year to do the state championships. You feeling old yet?
Yeah, I know. We were talking about this is my, I think, 7th or 8th year doing it with Benjamin Russell. And I am getting old. I've seen a lot of these guys come through, but it is exciting to see. And every year it seems like the ASSA does a better job of trying not to do what they did the year before. And I think this Super 7 is going to be a great event as well.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. We'll continue to pass that along. So let's go ahead and pull this name out of the hat or out of the bag. Come on up here, Sean, as we'll give away a pair of tickets to the Auburn and LSU game. I'm going to put it under here where nobody has to say that Sean Bland. If someone, I've had 50 people come up to me today and say, you better pull my name out of that hat. Not quite Sean Bland, but it's Jeff Williams. Jeff Williams, congratulations to you. And, yep, Jennifer Moore sold it. And, Jeff, congratulations. You win a pair of Auburn and LSU tickets. As Ann gives me that look. Sean's fault. He pulled it out of the hat. If I could see him. But thanks to everyone out there that gave towards this raffle, and we sure do appreciate that. All of the funds will go to the Alexander City Sports Foundation, and we'll continue on our way. And Jeff Williams, congratulations to you as you pick up that pair of tickets. The pair of tickets can be picked up at Lee Marketing Group. Just come by there. That was actually ticket number 1, Jennifer. Ticket number 0001. That's unreal right there. That is the first ticket that was bought, so you deserve it, Jeff. You went out there and bought the first ticket, then congratulations to you. Scott, Sports Blitz Live up next from 7 to 9, statewide, Channel 80. I was saying earlier, though, we can't do our program without JR Sports Bar and Grill. $1.99, bring your kids out in uniform all season long. One of the specials that we're looking most forward to, we're up here with Sports Call every afternoon from 4 to 6 unless we're on the road. So Tuesday through Friday, you can catch us with Sports Call Auburn at JR Sports Bar and Grill. You can come out, be a part of the program. If you want to ask questions from the crowd, we'll take those. Want to send those in in through social media. But the biggest thing is they got happy hour specials up here at JR. So whatever you partake in, you can come up and have some specials with that. Appetizers are very reasonably priced, and they've got some great specials with that. So we're looking forward to some big crowds during the happy hour special at JR's.
Oh, yeah. I was just thinking I eat so much here. I think I'm sweating out mild sauce. But we, as you said, JR Sports Bar Grill, just a wonderful place, 2 locations here as well as in Sylacauga, but always making sure that all of our shows are taken good care of.
You make sure to come on out, be a part of the program. We'll be back up here, Andy Graham and myself, tomorrow, 7 to 9 tonight, those Sports Blitz Live. Lots of great guests. Find all of our programs through social media. You can find it at Lee Marketing. All of our links to our social media accounts can be found there. Sports Blitz programming. We give away a steak dinner each week as we have a prediction game. Not sure exactly which one Justin has chosen for the prediction this week. I think it's Ole Miss and Alabama, I'm pretty sure. So you can call in, give your prediction on that game.
Tidy, please.
Yeah, Scott is looking for an Ole Miss victory. I just don't think there's a chance in the world that Alabama is going to get beaten by Ole Miss this week. But look, I'm not going to cry if that happens. But up against the break of the close of the program, Scott, $5.49 snack wing basket without tea. If you're looking to get a tea, $6.99 snack wing basket or snack finger basket each and every time you hear Sports Blitz on the air. Can't thank JR's Sports Bar and Grill enough. Jeff Williams, congratulations to you. You win the pair of tickets to the Auburn and LSU game this weekend. So for Scott Hardy, I'm Randy Lee saying thanks for tuning in to the Sports Blitz Lake Martin Sports Roundup.
And you're off.
We'll let you go.